E team,
DC's
the beast
turn
the,
to
the
pick.
physical damage now with the spin and the Medusa, and it's also a hero that they won with, which I also think lends more credibility to it.
Yeah, and a good thing for them with the Elder Titan, as you mentioned, Snark stacks up so much agility. All that armor he gets is just negated if Elder Titan plays correctly, so Medusa can actually kill the Snark.
Jakiro comes out! He finally comes out!
Look at that smile on Misery. He's like,
Working so hard at this.
oh my god.
They ran this a few months ago, but it's been a very long time. They were trying to find substitutes for mid laner. They tried Lina, they tried Letrak, they tried Jakiro. I'm so glad that they pulled it out here.
Let's see the solo mid Jakiro.
You happy now, Black? He's the one that been whispered the whole frickin' time. Let's send it over to our casters right now. It's LD and Mott. Jakiro.
But is there anything more North American than a Jakiro mid? This is an absolute staple for the region. It just feels right. DCEG, they've got them on the ropes. Now they're going to try to knock them out of the event with something that, frankly, no other region really runs.
10
Most
seconds
other regions
remaining.
don't even believe in. Do you think the mid Jakiro is going to work?
It certainly has the chance. This was
5
popular
seconds
during Manila,
remaining.
during the group stages. It won many games there, and I'm looking forward to seeing how DC and Weehaw can play. It's certainly going to be an exciting matchup as we jump into the game. It is game number 2. Like you said, it is that Weehaw Jakiro, and for EG, we do pick out the 2-step, but this is one of the most exciting picks so far of the tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, Jakiro gives you a massive amount of AoE damage, and when you have Chronosphere to set it up, Weehaw could take over team fights, but this is not like your traditional carry type hero. Jakiro definitely someone who needs to get things done in the first like 10 to 15 minutes, whether it's Liquid Fire sieging, setting up team fights with the Chrono and providing the damage. If you're just sitting back trading farm going late game against DC, while they do have other heroes that scale, the Jakiro's not the one who's going to take them there on his own. So excited to see what Weehaw can get done in the mid lane. Interested to see what the build will be. It's a very annoying harassment hero in general, though. Between Liquid Fire, lots of AoE damage. They may even want to bring the Dazzler Elder Titan in to help Medusa out early on.
You know, and this was the problem for DC. I felt like they didn't have enough damage, magical damage to deal with EG's draft. You have a lot of, obviously, armor with the Weave, with the Warcry coming out as well. For the build for the Jakiro, I think beforehand we saw the Veil being picked up, and we might see it again. Right now he has the 1 Null Talisman. We'll wait and see. We'll go for that Veil later on down the road. Good thing about this hero is that with Liquid Fire, it's so annoying to lane against, even with Mana Shield for Sumail. So we'll see how they decide to lane this up.
They may want to give him help early. I think Jakiro is one of the most irritating heroes in the game to lane against. Right up there with a Viper, Razor, if you're not a hero who naturally can keep their distance effectively. But we will see what DC look to get done. Not to mention, it's actually the forehead strat, because they also have the Ogre Magi, another equally annoying hero in his own right in the laning stage. It does feel like they just really want to pressure Sumail.
Yeah, they're going to, like you said, with the Ogre, they can come in with the Ignite, maybe get an Orb of Venom. If not, just hit him with the club and go from there. Obviously, stack the Liquid Fire up and...
Oh, this could be devastating.
Is he close enough? He's going to get this. He needs 2. Oh, they juked it to the north. That might be enough. It's going to get to the high ground. It looks like it might get away. Wow.
He's still going for one. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up. But he does find Universe, who has abandoned the offlane straight to the jungle, whereas Moo top lane, although he takes some heavy harassment here, is trying to lane against the EG defensive tri-lane. So, with nobody in the offlane, the DC support, they're free to pressure mid, they're free to go and contest the Beastmaster. Universe is going to try and dodge this as he heads down towards bottom, and Zai will now take over the lane as it's pushed in quite a bit.
Zai can still die here if he's not careful, gets bounced up, and they can rotate the supports. All of the supports from DC are mid right now. Look how low Sumail is. He
is going to be so tilted. This lane is just unwinnable between Misery and Weehaw, constantly harassing him. It is the early point in Liquid Fire for Weehaw. Often we do see it maxed on poor Jakiro. It doesn't cost him any mana, so it's a nice spell to just constantly be able to spam. Overall, we'll see more and more of a clubbing. And Medusa is okay at catching up. The hero's not very mobile, can clear stacks, but The hate continues, Mon, unabated. EG have to get a lot out of these other lanes, and especially the jungle Beastmaster to justify how hard the Deuce is being bullied. Only 3 CS so far.
Feels like we're back a month ago when Jungle Beastmaster was the thing, and Universe now going with the Iron Talon. Should have plenty of farm. We see that early level is coming up, but now mid again. The dual breath, the liquid fire, it's not cool down. The mana shield will come up though. That should keep him safe. Sumail was holding on to it for a long time. We don't want to waste any excess mana and try to stay alive as best as possible. And he parried another salve out. Sumail has to chew through 2 salves at this point already in this game.
He is not even getting to see creeps at this point. Sumail already like almost a full level behind Weeha here, at least 3/4 of one, and the pressure continues. PPD forced to rotate. This will free up the void top though. Now getting up to 7 last 6 left. It's coming out. PPD healing up Sumail. Mystic Snake coming through, annoying Weeha, taking some mana back as well. So Misery, not quite that free pressure that he was getting earlier, but Sumail will finally get a creep wave under his tower and should be able to CS this at the very least. But again, like you talked about, Universe. Even then, we are still denying him. Oh man, this is brutal stuff in the mid lane. Constantly playing aggressive. The nice thing about running mid Jakiro, he's very difficult to gank, so you can play aggressively like this. Him and the Ogre, like, look at their collective HP. They've got almost 1,600 between the two of them. There's really no threat of dying unless they tower dive, which they are trying for now, but PPD was ready.
He has a double damage rune as well. The chasing Mystery, that dual breath might deter them. Mystery might stay alive. Weeha has liquid fire as well. Looks like they'll both get away. They weren't expecting the DD Dazzle coming out from PPD, and Misery will deny himself as well.
If that's not an Ogre and Jakiro, I think they give up 2 kills there. My god, these heroes are tanky. So, with the rotation of the Dazzle towards the mid lane, he's freed up a lot top. The good news is Sven is quite difficult to lane against for any melee here because the cleave damage constantly harasses you a bit in lane, but the key thing for Boo is just getting experience, which currently he is, so he does a lot, and now the creep wave's dead, he goes in on Fear. That's the time walk back. Nothing for Fear to cleave at the current moment, but still, but Sven farming well. Sven not the strongest laning hero, but in this matchup, and once he's had a little help, he doesn't really need that much support in the lane. But Sumail mid,
he's running well for on mana. And another liquid fire, he could have gone for that, but still a long cooldown at level 2. 2 points into dual breath, 2 points in a liquid fire at this point. And then with the bloodlust on top of it too, it's even more harassed. They're putting so much focus on this hero. And he finds a regen rune to top it all off.
Quite literally, he is now ready to go for round number 2. Sumail, even in the dual lane, still struggling a lot to farm 13 CS. And Deuce is an incredibly farm-intensive hero, and you've already got a Sven on the team, so again, for EG, they're just trying to buy time for Universe. Once he hits level 6, he will be the space creator for the squad. They can't really get a whole lot out of Dazzle in that regard. The hero doesn't rotate that effectively for offensive maneuvers. Zai getting his levels in the offlane, he can maybe follow up the Roar. So I think EG do have potential to salvage this terrible start for the Dusa. And keep in mind, Sven's free farming right now. They're getting a lot out of the offlane. Zai already level 4, so all is not lost. It's more, does Sumail tilt off of this and does it get inside his head?
I don't think so. I mean, Sumail's such a good comeback player. If they can get some camps up, maybe stacked with, and he's gets split with split shot, but he's already just taking down so low again without using that mana shield. Misery top lane. He's setting up for Fear right now. There's only 2 up here. I don't think they can bring Fear down. He's so tanky.
They have an Observer Ward. They just got a glimpse of Misery.
Yeah, they're going to see him now. He's going to have to try to get away. Stop letting go up with the Stormhammer first. Stop coming out. There's going to be a lot of damage here between Spirit. This will stop coming through, and he will fall. No, the Chronos Spear, but PPD comes to finish the job. That is first blood. Fear catch up. They can bring him down, though.
That was not the ideal Chrono. Traps his ally in position for PPD to finish the job. No Radiant Vision towards the top side of the map. They didn't know that PPD was rotating. He has been primarily parked mid to support Sumail. Not only does EG get the first blood, but DC wastes the Chronos. So now EG will feel a lot more confident elsewhere on the map. They don't have to be worried about his rotation. And here comes the bailout crew. Zai and PPD both coming mid as the DC tri-lane on the Deuce continues. They really want to help him out, but it's Misery they see first. They're going to stop him.
He's going to get caught as well. Yeah, they should. Maybe not down. He's very tanky. He's got 8
Dire's
armor.
bottom
He's the Maldic
tower
up
is
inside.
under
He's
attack.
in the tree line. Dual Prince will hit him as well, but here comes Universe. There's an Aurorian, but he's getting close. The liquid fire coming out weak. Getting chased down now.
Even Sumel getting involved. Just a casual 7 hero clump up in the mid lane. All the while Resolution says, I'm just going to hit Creep's bottom. He's now the leader in CS. He was
Dire's
down
bottom
about
tower
10
is
to
under
fear
attack.
earlier, so he's done a good job at catching up.
Dire's structures
Fear having
are
to rotate
fortified.
to find that kill in the jungle earlier. He brings the tower low, but EG not going to give it up just yet. No roar available. They just don't want to give this up for free. Looking for the tower tonight. Will they get it?
Dire's bottom tower
That's big
has
for
fallen.
Resolution now. They are chasing Soxa. The boar almost can, if they can just get a stop if the boar gets in range.
Oh, they got the forehead. Sox coming through, but they are pretty far away. I think Sox is fine. We'll just leave him for a little bit.
I mean, all things considered, Sumel basically getting tri-laned at times here mid. I think he's doing okay, 23 CS, but Dusa takes a while to come online. The Stone Gaze does have a lot of natural synergy with their team. Already, they have the Dazzle, whose weave will help amplify the physical damage that EG bring to team fights. On top of that, the Sven, who's an incredibly hard hitter. So it's not like it's a one-core lineup where, oh, you shut down the enemy carry, they're just going to lose late game. Also, Elder Titan here that scales very hard, so... EG, I think they're handling this early pressure from DC well. The real question is going to be, can DC find that big team fight where they combine the Jakiro with the Faceless Void? A kill or two, you will take towers rapidly. Witch Doctor here to sustain the push. Liquid Fire to muscle the towers down, and tanky frontliners that can soak up tower hits in the Ogre and the Jakiro. So that is going to be the next move for DC. Ideally a Chrono, but then you really want to push. You pick Twin Head, it is not just to sit back and farm all game. His move gets caught by the roar. Oh, this could be bad. He does have a time up with a stomp, perfectly timed. As he's missed past the animation, he falls.
Very close for him to get out there with that time walk away. Dead for 25. Soxa on top of an Observer Ward right now. The big thing about DC's draft is they're really losing out on the experience for these supports right now. The levels, it's not looking so good for them at this point. Level 3 for the Ogre, it's spending
Radiant's
too much
top
time
tower
with his
is
mid
under
lane and roaming
attack.
around. It's dying Sume on the tree line. We'll try to deny or at least help out this tower. Sadok's gonna run on through. Stop, die, cast up. The stop cancel immediately.
Oh, that was really well played. If he just tries to run, he will get stomped. He quite likely dies there with the board slow, plus the Medusa hitting him with the Mystic Snake. Soxa has his individual plays been stellar throughout the event, whether it's on defensive supports like the Oracle, someone who likes to
Dire's
roam a
middle
little bit,
tower
has more
is under
laning
attack.
presence like the Witch Doctor. And here
Dire's
comes the push,
structures are fortified.
as Jakiro will be the siege engine.
They're just not afraid. They're pushing right
Dire's
past that
middle
tower.
tower has fallen.
Everybody from EG backs up, and that's the tier 1 mid gone again early on in this game. They get the tier 1 mid, they get the tier 1 bottom, similar to how they played last game, just taking down those early towers. Resolution on that Razor. Now Resolution's on this large top in net worth. In fact, almost up 1,000 on the Sven at this point. Very close. And he's also got the Shadow Amulet for the Shadow Blade, the standard build for Slark in this game.
Yeah, Resolution feeling pretty confident about his ability to move around the map, and the Slark this game isn't really that easy to
Radiant's
deal
middle
with for
tower
EG as
is
far
under
as killing
attack.
goes. They have Stone Gaze to zone him away. The stop is quite difficult for Slark to fight into, but as far as like reliable catcher on the map, they don't really have that much. Just Beastmaster Roar, which a one-time Dark Pack can deal with quite easily. So I think he can split push a lot, farm a lot this game. But team fighting though against EG will be difficult unless the Chrono's ready as EG move in, but the scan is going to scout it more.
They had the ward there as well. They smoked underneath the ward, so EG, they're walking in. They still might find a kill anyways. Resolution come
Radiant's
through. That's going to be the roar.
bottom tower is under
Stop like
attack.
come down next. Soxa
Dire's
stopped
top
up.
tower is
Like
under
again,
attack.
stick back to the Shadow Blade. That gets the kill with Resolution. Looking perfect around here. Completing the Kanu. They've got Chrono. Keeps the universe. Ace trouble. Moves for Rain. The Chrono on the 3. Move still gets turned to stone at this point. Sumel's trying to help him out. And now here is rotated and possibly got
Radiant's
strength,
bottom
but now they
tower is
time
under
walk
attack.
away and avoid the death on that void.
Resolution no Shadow Blade yet. Tough for him to go Flynn when he's this low HP. Wants to heal up in the tree line. Looks to screen again, but Sumel at full HP. Now the Earth Splitter. We have to away from that one. Didn't see the Jakiro able to combo very effectively with moving that fight, and now they move forward under fear. Cass is gonna bounce with those beauty. Catches up here, then on to Sumail. The max bottom range on that bounce pretty much as they chase forward. Brady fear down the Jakiro effect. Out in force. Now Sumail on the run. They slayed the Sven after all that. Both teams very good at disengaging, but still in the end, getting the kill there, not losing any cores. It looked like a good stone gaze to cancel the chrono, or to counter to the chrono, I should say, but EG also got caught or was zoned away, and this is the issue running the Sven against Void, is it's very difficult at this stage without a Blink Dagger to get into the fights.
He was just kited down essentially, which happens so often, especially early on in the game, especially too. And like you said, the liquid fire constantly being put up on his Sven. There was also the Ignite to come out, the cast, they have the Fire Blast. They have plenty of ways to slow down and stun the Sven and make sure he doesn't escape. Well, it'll be a little bit tougher for Sumail with that mana pool, but still, Fear dying there is absolutely critical. He's gone for the farming ability as the Helm of the Dominator right now. He's trying to get the cleave up and stack up these Ancients as much as possible and go from there. That's a huge fight though. Resolution continues to gain more and more net worth right now. He's gonna have a Shadow Blade done here within about 100 gold or so.
Yeah, he will be looking to move around a lot. Finds a
Double damage.
Once the Shadow Blade's complete. Even if it's not to kill, it will be to put pressure on the map in general. And that's where the Jakiro, having that hero that can knock down towers, makes a big difference. As you open up the map, create more safe spaces where you can aggressively roam with minimal fear of ganks. Unless there's a Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster or the Sven. Still a ways off if either wants to go for it. Very little chance that they can kill the Slark
Dire's structures
when he's choosing to split push.
EG looks like they will just try to trade right now, and I think they'll be successful. DC will take the tower. They could TP in bottom, but I think it's too late.
Radiant's bottom tower
but this tower's
is
already
under
low
attack.
enough. You can see that everyone else
Radiant
is
structures
backing
are
away.
fortified.
They don't want to take this engagement. Here we'll grab the last hit on that tower. He is going to be going for what I think to be an Echo Saber. He's going to grab that early on. He has extra damage to go with as well.
Yeah, Echo, great pickup on Sven. I would like to see DC look to contest the Ancient stacks, as this is where Sven's economy goes. We saw Wings yesterday did a really good job of that throughout the series. Really Fnatic also very effective with. You don't want to just let a Sven free farm, but it's tough to fight up the high ground into the Hawk. EG, it doesn't look like whenever you see a Void, you're like, oh man, that team's team fight is ridiculous. But EG's team fight is also ridiculous in its own right. Elder Titan, Dusa, the combination of the Dusa and the Sven, and walking up high ground without vision against that lineup, you get caught by a stomp, you could very quickly lose 2-3 heroes. So now that the Shadow Blade's out, Resolution gets more active, but the Hawk Sentry combo, I think they might see him here. He does run by the Sentry, so now they know Rezo has a Shadow Blade. EG can look to punish this. Potentially an early gem pickup for them.
They're going to play together for now, knowing that Shadow Blade is probably up. Universe has picked up flags, and look at some of the other heroes as well for EG. They're starting to come online. Sumail's got a little bit more time, but there is the mech up now for the Jakiro, so if they want to continue the pressure, they certainly can. So many towers left to tier 2s. All that stands in their way for DC to take down those tier 2 towers with a lot of gold, and we'll see if they can push into them soon. See how much the Jakiro can actually do. This wee hot Jakiro, they pulled it out in the last second, and so far he's done a great job. Third in net worth, 1-0-1. He's got the mech ready to go. Bloodlust on top of that.
Yeah, but Dusa's catching up. Considering how much emphasis they've put on shutting her down, she's only 500 behind the Jakiro. I think EG are fine with this, and to me, DC need to be going for the next round of towers. They've gone for a mech on Weeha. He's not going for more of a damage or farming oriented build. Not an early battle pick. This is a 5-man item for DC. Make no mistake about it. This is, for the most part, a 4 protect 1 lineup. The Void, mostly just a setup hero, Jakiro pusher, and only the Slark who really will scale hard in the late game. The way DC are itemizing, they do want to take fights. They look for one with this smoke.
He's just going to get PPD. They don't want to use the Chronosphere for this. He is going to back away. He was underneath the tower.
Yeah, that's
drop the ward down though.
A Chrono on a single support is okay if you get a tower off of it, but they're looking for more.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They keep it at the last second. It was Sumail, and he would have gotten caught there. They only get a single kill on the support. Maybe
Dire's
the
middle
tower
tower is under
starts
attack.
stacking up the liquid fire
Radiant's
to go
top
with
tower
it.
is
Man,
under
that would have
attack.
been huge if they killed Sumail there. He can't stun at the last possible second. Clearly had his camera right over the tower as you just keep seeing it. Sometimes players are checking elsewhere on the map.
Radiant's
They're busy
top tower is
spending their
falling.
gold, but he was on point.
Dire's
Fear
middle
gets the
tower
last
is
on the
under
tower on the back
attack.
of that, so EG only losing a support here. More importantly, it's worth mentioning, it's very difficult to push into Elder Titan. Like, of the overall EG lineup, they have Mystic Snake, they have Axes, they have Elder Titan. That hero especially shuts down pushes. If you don't catch him when you go in, then it takes a while to bring the creep wave to the tower. It's quickly destroyed. DC, overall, they can't really be happy only getting a support, not taking a tower, and they're going to back off the farm, but all the while, Jusa continues to keep the pace here. They have not shut down the ancient farming. Although that observer ward was planted, we've yet to see them make use of it.
To get a scan, they know where at least one of these heroes is for EG. They have Medusa with the Dragonlance as well, so extra tankiness. It doesn't give you the stats of the mana shield, but still, it gives you that HP that you're going to need against this lineup.
Dire's
Universe
top
making a
tower
move on the
is
top
under
lane. He
attack.
finds Weehaw, gets off the roar. There's no backup here for the Jakiro, who seems horribly out of position.
Still has that net. The rest of the team, it looked like they were coming for a moment. They're going to leave him. Weehaw's going to go down as they try to push it in, but they're not really doing that much damage. And at this point, the stop just narrowly avoided by he will be able to time walk away.
I mean, Jakiro this is not a Meepo. This is not an Invoker. The hero can kill buildings quickly, yes, but he's extremely immobile, especially with the build that Weeha's gone for. He needs to be with the team. Not sure if DC, if he was calling for the team to push there, or whose fault it was as far as the communication goes. But if you just leave that hero alone, EG will
Dire's
punish.
bottom tower
Buys
is
them
under
more time
attack.
to farm. Things are shaping up. Like, this pace of the game to me is favors the EG overall. Not to say DC's lineup can't scale, but I just feel like DC were expecting to get more done at this point.
Yeah, I mean, with the build they won of the Chikiro, they should have been pushing a lot more with that mech, but they just haven't found the kills they were looking for. Sure, they got PBD, but that's it. And you have the Medusa, as you talked about, farming fine.
I'm resolute with the Shadowblade build. He hasn't found any kills either,
Right,
so
exactly.
sure, he keeps up with his farm, but the lineup wants to either find kills with Slark and keep the carries down that way, or it wants to push towers. Ideally both. So far they've done both.
It's still a very close game. If you look at the cores right now for both teams, it's like all three of the cores for both sides are pretty even at this point. 6,000 roughly for the Jakiro as well as the Void, and for the Medusa and the Universe Beastmaster on top of that. So the Sven and as well as the Solark, they're going to be the go-getters in this game, see if they can get anything done with their items.
There is a plan B for DC. Resolution Slark. We've seen him on a variety of carries this tournament, whether it's Naga, Morphling, Slark, one of the other big ones. He can take over games, but I just feel like it's a tough Slark game for him to fight directly into EG. Like, you're walking into Stone Gaze, that instantly forces Slark to turn and run away. The Elder Titan has
Radiant's
a lot of zone
bottom
control,
tower is under
so
attack.
at that point he really counts on Moo to find good Chronos. Really their only reliable team fight setup is the Chronosphere. If he doesn't, he'll have to resort to split push
Dire's top
primarily.
tower is under
A lot
attack.
riding on Moo's shoulders. Also, the Void, probably the main hero that can deal well with Medusa late game. Chrono, hit with the Diffusal Blade Manta
Radiant's
build,
bottom tower
eventually
is under attack.
can shut the Medusa down in team fights, but he's got a ways to go if he wants to farm
But
that.
he has no mana. He's going to get last mid-6 stake, but now he's out of the Earth Splitter. And the Earth Splitter, now Resolution has to Shadow Dance away. Moo was just not there for the Chronosphere, and again, a little bit too quick on the draw, I think, for DC. They needed to wait for the rest
Dire's
of their team.
middle tower
And
is
Smel's
under
able to
attack.
get out just fine. And it looks like he huge pickup. Sorely missed.
Yeah, they at least get in position to chip at the tower. Liquid fire, roasting it, but it's just tough to kill EG's heroes. They're all extremely tanky. You've Mana Shield, Sven, who's a strength hero that has War Cry, so builds extremely tanky. Beastmaster, relatively high HP. They have the Dazzle to keep heroes alive longer. Not to mention the Weave, as the game goes on, to deal with physical damage and amplify theirs.
They have the Blink Dagger now on Fear, and he's going to rotate down bottom and try to find and just take down that ward, but now DC need to be careful. Stormhammer, the gun coming out of the boom, and they bring them both down. They leave, as well as the fall from the rest of BG.
They might. I wonder if they even consider moving towards the Roach Pit here. There is split push from Resolution that PPD will feel like he has to go deal with, but yeah, they have Beastmaster. They do have God Strength for about a third of the duration remaining. They can try for this.
I'll take this. Resolution's still staying around. Maybe he's gonna go for. He's just gonna, I think, just be a pesky nuisance to try to pick up the support on the back line.
Courier, maybe.
Or the Courier would be nice too. Now,
so far nothing though. And the Roshan is getting low on. Almost certainly DC want to contest this, but with no Void, they just don't have a great pathway into the pit. They get the Courier snipe. The big win goes the way of the boys in blue.
This is huge. I mean, it's right when that Blink Dagger comes out for Fear, they smoke up, they set up a great 2-man shot. Wave comes through, but DC still wants the tier 2 tower mid, and they're putting a lot of effort into it. Liquid Fire should bring it down into deny range. They should be able to get it done. Goes to Weehaw. They missed time. The right click for Sumail.
Liquid Fire, what a spell.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good at killing towers.
They're looking to team fight though. They have the high ground position. EG are walking up into a chokehold here, but the Void isn't quite ready. Nice chessboard, the follow-up damage, but Stone Gaze disengages the pit for EG. They try to back away, but they found the other man. They isolate him. They bring him down. Sumail headed the region. And the agent is not gonna matter. DC, they came. They saw, and they will conquer EG with that agent. They say we don't lose. A triple for Random. The Jakiro coming up big there with the 2-arrow. And an incredible catch from Sansa. A very late chrono, but late was good in that situation. He mentioned that DC had done enough damage that EG wanted to run, and then they were prevented from doing so.
Well, watch this counter initiation. Zai gets off the stop. The Earth Splitter was coming through, and Fear was doing the work, but he gets a beautiful chrono, not just on Fear, but on Sumail as well. Sure, he did get caught out with the Stone Gaze, but he did his job in Fear, and everybody from EG fell. What a fight from DC.
What confidence from this team. They see EG's team fight, and they say, you know what? If we have the positional advantage, we can still take a fight. EG are a bit weak when it comes to dealing with magic damage in this stage of the game. Haven't built BKBs yet, don't have a pipe picked up. They're extremely resilient against physical damage, but that's where the Jakiro pick comes in.
Top tower is under attack.
This is before a potential fail. I would love to see one from him as the game moves along.
That damage would be even more significant, but the BKB is being built for Fear, at least he has the Ogre Club. No one else, I don't believe, for EG at this point. So he's going to be the only one that can deal with the magic damage that is bursted out. But still, Resolution also did a lot of work that team. Like the Echo Saber, he's up to 4.4k gold, and he's already built that Orb of Venom. So it's going to be Niscani for Resolution coming out next.
Oh man, Misery, the Veil Bearer now. This is a big pickup. And I mean, it talked a lot about the Jakiro's magical burst. Ogre brings a lot to the table too. Still only a level 2 Fire Blast, so he's gone, of course, for the Bloodlust Ignite build, but offers quite a bit nonetheless. As DC muscle down another tower. I have Scotty is done for Resolution, I believe.
He's got enough for it, and he's going to buy it right now.
God, he's going to be so difficult to kill.
And it's the Kai'Di too also. The Scotty slow on this Sven, or even on the Deuce is nice to have.
And he doesn't, like, Resolution doesn't feel that pressure this game. There's no Disruptor where you have to build into a BKB, potentially, to deal with him. They don't have an instant silence. All the initiation that EG has, even a Blink Stormbolt, you can see that coming, just Dark Pact or Shadow Dance, generally will be able to get out of there. Beastmaster Blink Roar has the windup, and he doesn't have the Blink anyway. So there's no great catch. Resolution can play for the late game with the Slark build, can play a big reader with the items, and it's unlikely he dies unless he dies super aggressively into the EG lineup. So the matchup is good for Slark at this, with this build up and with the items EG have gone for.
God Strength, I think, to clear out another 80 stack here for Fear and get him closer and closer to that BKB. What point for DC do you decide to fight again? They now have the Sky, they have the Veil, as you talked about. I don't think they want to let EG continue to farm that much further. Again, we talked about EG's late game. It is significant. So where at this stage do you go for DC?
It's just tough to push because of the Elder Titan pick more than anything.
Right.
So I don't think DC want to force it too much. I would really like to see them get a gem at this point. With no outer towers for EG aside from that one tier 2 bottom, you have a 3-tower advantage. You're Radiant. You know the next Roshan's coming up in the next couple minutes, and ideally want to be in position to contest it. So I think for DC, this is the point in the game where they look to establish map control. They don't need to end the game now. It's very tough to go high ground. But if you can starve EG, you're looking to be in great shape heading late.
The thing is that DC doesn't have the gem. It's actually on Universe for EG, and they have the map control. Got a couple of the dire jungle wards as well as one towards that Roche pit.
Radiant's
Looks
top
like
tower
EG
is under
might know
attack.
this is coming.
They've shown to spend mid. There is a Dazzle behind him. Patient positioning from Moo here. Does it have the Blink Dagger now in the void? Will they find that pick?
Go too much here. They still have the Shadow Blade for Resolution. It's the Spirit that is going to come through and scout this out for...
So much scouting potential
Radiant's
from EG,
top
whether it's the
tower
Spirit,
is
the
under
Hawk.
attack.
They're doing a really good job at anticipating these DC movements, and there was only that one time in their jungle where they slipped up, and man, they got mega punished, so they know they need to stay disciplined and play cautiously, but in doing so, they are somewhat limiting their team's farm. Here, we're now going to go back to the jungle with DC, looking for the more important objective here, trying to take that last outer tower mod.
Dire's
They get
bottom
up a
tower
nice
is
high
under
ground
attack.
ward on the right side of the map. There's nobody here. They will get the tower. And next Roche gets a lot harder with this falling for EG.
The map
Dire's
control that
bottom
you have
tower
now for
is under
DC,
attack.
taking that tower away, can't TP in, contesting is a lot harder. You can't get to that Roshan as
Dire's
quickly.
bottom tower
When
has
Roshan is
fallen.
back up, expect to see a pick
Radiant's
coming out
middle
from
tower
either team.
is under attack.
There is some pressure mid from PPD, but he's going to go to the He might be caught by Moo.
Trouble, just wanted to ward. Now he's gonna die for it.
And the ward's going to get countered as well. Resolution faked it out. He's like, man, vision is me over here. So they should have either a gem coming out or some sentries for DC to be able to take this down.
That's the one of the big things that Slark brings to the table is that de-warding potential, where you can generally establish where the enemy wards are just because your Shadow Dance will be deactivated. So one of the few carries that brings a lot of vision prowess to the game, and DC able to take advantage of that as the game moves along.
I mean, you need that because you, like you said, you're against the Hawk, you're against the Aspen. You have to have that vision advantage. The Hawk obviously turning invisible, you'll know that either there's a Hawk or a ward there, counter in some way, shape, or form. I didn't even think of a gem for DC as well. I think they should have done a couple minutes ago. They have plenty of gold on some of these heroes.
Looks like Misery might want a Yules or a Force here. Saksa has already completed his own Force step. Nice items to kite a Sven. Even a Medusa. Sure, Medusa's a range hero, but she's in a mobile range hero. She has no mobility skills of any kind. Generally doesn't build mobility items, just wants to build tank and damage items. So
Radiant's
Force stats
bottom
allow you to
tower
kite, but
is under
DC, they
attack.
see an opening top. They're moving in on Sumail. This is a big thing. Gretos cuts it off. He gets the Stolen Gate. Passes up through. They turn. Ice Path blocks the retreat. Great play by Weeha. Now they can go in with the Sumail. And they roast them inside the bubble. Force comes down from here. Looking for the clean. He's been a bloody smash into it. And Resolution barely lives. And it's Sumail. Somehow, I think he's alive. He does end up surviving a beautiful raid from PPD. Time walk out to the moon. They thought they had it, but they're gonna lose the fourth. GG. They spring the trap. It's so hard to find kills when you have Graves to worry about. Zeus's Stone Gaze to fight through. I really love that Jakiro played driving the Ice Path to zone him and prevent him from retreating to the base, but he's just so damn tanky at this point. DC, no Diffusal Blade yet on the Void, no Manta. They don't have the Necro Bolt carrier, or at least nobody's chosen to build one, so they lack reliable ways to get through the spell shield. If they could have stunned her before she Stone Gazed, it's an easy kill, but once she gets it off, they get punished.
They will have a Basher for Resolution next. He's chosen to purchase that. It's flying out on the courier as we speak. We have some lockdown now, but there is that Scotty for Sumail. So he's even tankier now with this item. It's not only the HP, but the mana as well. The slow, which is, of course, you talked about kiting. Not only the spend, but Medusa. Sure, you have 4 staffs, but you will be able to get right clicked down by Scotty coming up from Sumail. And they'll look to pressure for what seems to be the first time in a while. They're going to tier 1 tower mid. Just group up together as a team. Spit plane.
They haven't been out this far on a map in a long time. EG are rediscovering what it feels like to get outside their base. And I think they're liking it.
Another ward scouted by Resolution, pinged out. I'll drop down a sentry and clear it immediately, although Fear looks like he wanted to go point on it, but he chose not to for a moment there.
Going on the Slark is very difficult. Even if you catch him, reliably locking him down, tough to do, so. They will contest, they don't actually claim the tower, but they buy themselves some farming time. Now Fear will go back to the stack. I think what this last fight really shows is that EG understand how to play against Faceless Void. They have a fantastic Void player of their own in Universe, and you want a defensive support. Almost always, that's where things will go right. Whether it's a Naga Siren, a bit unconventional, something more standard like a Shadow Demon, a Dazzle in this case. You need that hero that can save someone when the chrono gets committed, so that way they have to find a multiple hero chrono, and catching a Dazzle when you're trying to go high ground or when you're near their base is always going to be extremely tough. You don't have vision up on the high ground. You're unlikely to... Most likely the Beastmaster even sees you with the Hawk when you try to make that move, so as long as PD sits back, they will have answers for the single hero Chronosphere. Moo's gonna have to find a better one.
It looked like they were about to try again for Sumail, but he backed away the perfect times. They were looking for that smoke of the sea gank with DC. The Hawk has scouted out the fact that Roshan is up in EG. They want to try to make something happen here.
Rezo, he was in position to break that smoke, but he actually backs away. Maybe Mystery the one to tank it. He kills the Hawk on his way out. He's sitting on the high ground. PPD marching down to the river, gets a ward. So like you said, Mod, it's all about this next road.
Everyone is so split up from DC. There's like 3 heroes bottom, then 2 mid. They're gonna find Moon looks like to stop. No, it's the Stormhammer. And look at that damage from Fear.
Radiant's top tower is under
Radiant
attack.
just scanned and had just seen someone from EG in the neighborhood, but a split second late as the Void gets caught. Again, EG vision has been massive for them this game. The Hawk setting up another crucial kill. The Spirit scouting, purchasing the early jab. DC, sure they have slots to eventually figure out where enemy wards are, but EG have that instant vision in the middle of fights that's making the difference, and it's tough to deal with the gem. I think it's sorely needed to deal with the Hawk, to deal with the aggressive wards. PPD is now getting down. You can't let EG consistently get the jump.
And could we talk about what impact Weeha's had the past couple of minutes? That one team fight at the Grid Ice Path, of course, the ultimate coming out the macro power. Weeha's done a lot of work there, but the last couple of minutes he's not been pushing. They haven't been pressuring. He had the Ice Path to stop Sumail from getting back into the base, but they still lost that fight. Feels like Weeha's starting to fall a little bit behind in his impact later on in the game.
I mean, Jakiro does amazing magic damage in theory, but you have to be able to hold them in place. So unless you get a great Chronosphere, an amazing cast, which we have seen once this game, you can't count on the Jakiro to dish out damage. It's not a hero that has reliable scaling the way Dusa or Sven does, so they can just go and be frontline tankers that hit buildings. You kind of rely on your team to allow you to make plays.
Radiant's middle tower
That's
has
normally
fallen.
not the role we see Weeha in. More often than not, Weeha is on the playmaking hero for the team. The Invoker, the Meepo, but mid lane is the old man who jumps in again. The force staff allows them to disengage. Ice Path will catch Fear. But good positioning. Look how far back EG supporting line is. Universe side, very far away. TPD as well. But Move is coming from behind. He tries to sweep in, but there's still ward to scout this out. Slark, Invis, out of vision. They really need a chrono on these backline heroes, Mod.
And everyone's back, and that's a great chrono they can find. They're so low. The roar is still a chrono, but they stuck to me. The earth for the DPB. Getting low, but not low enough. He can break himself in DP. And now everyone needs to. They need to run. They need to leave.
Misery's son, the chase continues. The old man moving in. Hacking at Weeha, but he's very tanky with the plate mail. Not the easiest kill for that. Brings it back. This could be where Resolution turns the fight. No stone gates to worry about. God's strength is worn off. He hops up to the high ground. He's a bit scared. The Jakiro with him. The twin and dead. So damn tanky. And no, that's a dead force. They do have a grave. Pulling down in 1 second. Will they get it on? To now. Set up the side. Aegis. Round 2, but they do drag it. DC hold, and now EG will be very discouraged. They're going for a high ground push. They lay in the second time. Can they save him here? They really want to back off, waiting on the gun. It's been so long, it's almost pulled down.
seconds. That God strength is back up. Another great ice pack coming through. They still have that stop. That's going to deter DC
Dire's
from
top
coming through.
tower is under
Everyone low on
attack.
man from DC. They have to back up.
It's a goddamn Herculean effort just to kill the Aegis here. DC having to pull out all the stops, all the plays, just to kill the Dusa once. That was without the grave as well.
He even has
more.
he has the talisman of evasion, which is insane. Like, that's even more mitigation that you have going the way of Sumail. So, like you said,
Super tanky. Not to mention, they also have Warcry, there's a Glimmer Cape on Zai, Vlad, tons of ways to keep Lady Dusa in fighting shape. You do see, though, like, EG really struggled to lock down Resolution. They roared him at the start of the fight, but there was Chrono there to prevent EG from following it up, and he was at full HP for the majority of the fight, so keeping the Slark locked down continues to be a problem for EG, and maybe lend some hope that late-game Resolution can fade out those cooldowns and then look to take over. Also, in good news for DC, Mu, working towards the Diffusal Blade. But the big thorn in DC's side has been that Weeha just hasn't been able to make huge plays here down the stretch, and generally when they've won, it's much like EG, where Sumail tends to step up. We'll have to see if Weeha can do it as the game progresses.
I mean, he's getting close to what I imagine to be that Shiva's Guard. That might be the item that changes everything. It's really good against some of these heroes for EG, but we'll see what he can do in these next couple of fights.
It's another kiting item for the Sven. Like, Fear is gonna be very irritated, but if anyone can have patience, it's probably the old man.
And Fear, all he really needs to do is get that God Strength, jump in, and just get a couple of cleaves off, and then Sumail can maybe do the rest once he gets a bit more damage going his way, and he's getting there with that Butterfly being completed soon. In fact, he just needs the Eagle Song right now, and he needs the Quarterstaff picked up on top of it. And they'll move together down to the bottom jungle, bottom lane, and moving and trying to push the tier 2 tower for the first times here in this game. They tried pushing that tier 2 mid, it got low enough, but it didn't actually go down, so...
You can see EG are getting more confident in their 5-man as the Butterfly,
Radiant's
as you
bottom
mentioned,
tower
nearly
is
complete.
under attack.
The items being picked up by Fear. This is where they're lining themselves. Elder Titan
Radiant's
is a fantastic
bottom
5-man
tower
hero.
has fallen.
So too the Beastmaster. Even Sven is in his own way because of the Warcry and his ability to siege buildings effectively. So EG can knock down another Mott. It's a dead even game as far as Bold goes. Experience only a minimal advantage for EG. But momentum-wise, it does feel like EG is currently in the driver's seat. They're the team invading the enemy jungle. DC, they just want to farm. They want the Manta on Mu. They want Resolution to pick up his next item. He is the leader net worth. This is not really the time where they want to be fighting.
When it comes to late game, DC still have at least some good heroes to deal with it. So you talked about it, obviously. The Diffusal Blade and the Manta coming out for Mu. The Faceless Void getting good Chronosphere. He has the Blink Dagger. It's not even level 3 yet. He's almost 16, so he will have it soon. And Resolution can still grow a little bit. He just picked up the Abyssal Blade not too long ago.
They also have Bloodlust. Don't forget about that. With a Slark stealing a bunch of damage, and now currently has a DD rune, speaking of damage. Could be extremely impactful. So even a Witch Doctor, like we've seen some really good death ward from Sox. So the tricky part for him is Warcry and AC is a pretty hard counter. But if somehow Fear isn't there for the fight or they kill him off prematurely, then death ward could be a difference maker.
Even Weave, like they have plenty of armor strategies here for EG. It's so
they have armor
so
for
hard
days.
to get through any of these heroes, let alone Sumail or Fear on those two carries. It's so tough at this point.
EG gonna group up mid. The bottom lane has been pushed in. They dropped an aggressive observer ward here, so they've ascertained that DC likely on the northern side of the map. They stick behind Sumail. Butterfly now complete. While DC, more of the team that wants to split push, the team that wants to defend high ground. Bit less confident in their ability to force the issue right now.
We might be waiting until Roche before the next point of contention, although EG are very close to this tier 2 tower. I don't know if you defend this if you're DC. If they go high ground, then you have to CP back up. Already high ground is Weeha and the rest of DC.
They want to force CPs. Already though, EG have knocked down the tier 2 mid, even further limiting DC's Roshan access. Because as long as Resolution stays here, if there's something like a disruptor this game, he gets the hell out way sooner, but he has a lot of confidence in the matchup and knows that he can get those last couple of pokes in on the tower.
He's gonna go back in. I've seen this movie before, I feel like, and he's like, maybe not this time.
Yeah, just potentially looking to force an EGTP or ultimate reaction of some kind, but he's not actually going to commit there. Oh, they do see him though. The Hawk comes in. Rezo needs to get out.
Fear coming in from the side. He's in Viz with that nice rune. He's got the Blink Stormhammer. Resolution doesn't know this. have the gem? It's not a front. Yeah, they don't have the gem, so.
Oh, he's actually going to pounce forward. Abyssal Blade is available. If you can force out a grave early on Universe, could be a difference maker, but now 2 mana moving in. He's chunking down the Ogre bit by bit. Pounce away and Fear leaps forward onto Misery. Wants to connect, but a nice Abyssal Blade by Resolution allows it to disengage. Then the bubble connects onto the bounce 2 mana in Universe. No soul games from this one, but they're so damn tanky, Mon.
Universe finally getting up, but it's 2 minutes stuck from Fear, and he immediately chopped both those supports down. Getting right quick. They're already been expected to get that kill. 3 dead for DC, and Moo had the time off and TP away. Resolution was long gone at that point, and EG are turning this around bit by bit, LD.
They got the combo there. It just didn't matter. Dusa is so tanky at this point. Yeah, Resolution's not dying, Mod, but he's also not killing. He is really struggling to burst the Dusa down. I feel like we're seeing that without a Super Farm Void, they really don't have great tools. They got her without Stone Gaze even getting off. Like, that looks like the perfect initiation for DC. The follow-up damage simply isn't there.
FG almost got her well.
Radiant's
Maybe
top
they could
tower
at
has
least
fallen.
divert some of their attention to the rest of the heroes. But Fear was on the back lines, just going to work with the
Radiant's
support
top
on some of those
tower is
heroes.
under attack.
And now they're pushing with the Necro 3 up into the high ground. We are down there for 16.
Radiant's top
Resolution
tower
caught.
is fallen.
Now getting low. Of course, the guys coming out, slowing him down. Stormhammer will hit as well. And this melee rack might fall.
They know there's no chrono for 30. DC, good time to punish, but only the tower so far. DC hanging onto the racks for the time being. DC now almost losing their courier as it charged down mid. Very anxious to deliver PPD's 4 staff. For EG, they find Misery. They blink Roar and it's not sure they want to commit on this. Fear's thinking about it. Has to blink available. Watching out. Void down before he sees the time walking out. Rizzo on an island up against the world. He's been the hero before, but against this EG strategy, it doesn't seem like Clark can do it 1v5. He's not isolating anyone. Even PPD chasing after him. He said, get the hell away from here. A little Clark, and they move in. They want the melee rank on EG. Trying to force that game 3. Ice Path, it's a swing and a miss. It forces up the 5x movement. Chrono, but Stone Gate says no. He's got a medical plate. He might try to back.
The strong hammer. He's getting his time to walk, and he does get some of his time. Hard to put on a Resolution to get damage. Now it's time to back away. The Chrono Spirit, they come down here getting damage. He's still taking it one PPD instead, but it's using Grave on himself.
Only one with the Chrono. I don't think it's good enough. No fear. Bring engaging on the way on a DC. About to lose the Jigsaw. Get it, Renzo. When did it be next? They cross the boundary. A dive head.
Radiant's top barracks are under
Potentially here
attack.
from Moon. He barely manages to blink the way. For now, still being chased. EG resilient on the big stage. Still keeping the 2-time TI championship dream alive. Supermail, he doesn't care. He's gonna try for the TV out for Ransom to stop this one. He forces Supermail to walk it off, and now he's out of his mono shot. He made him overstay his welcome. Stone Gaze potentially enough here. Resolution getting left, still backing off. They will bring down Supermail. Dead or 80. Doesn't have the buyback, almost losing the Ogre here to the nuke damage, but when the dust settles, EG have dealt pretty critical damage to the DC base. Slark forced to buy back, Void forced to buy back, a massive net worth advantage now, with EG still yet to take Roshan.
That net worth advantage, the swing is down so heavily, 15,000 in favor of EG. I mean, they got the kill on Smill, but that's pretty much it. And if DC maybe can get Roshan, they have some room to work with, but right now, they need to hit more. The Astral Spirit will scout it out. Stop the through, Dark Pass is used, and DC did get stopped. They're going to go back to their EG might look to contest this 4 versus 5. We'll see.
Unless Dusa wants to fight back, they will the power play here. There's no power to TP to, so it's going to take Dusa a bit longer. Misery's in position to stop EG's easy initiation. No fear. Could potentially go for the blink in, and they're getting nervous spot. They know they need to get the Aegis after using all those 5x, losing a melee racks, but EG are threatening at any moment. Fear could out.
Taking a little too long. The Snail will be up for this. There's going to be a stop again, but it's just Dark Path. backs it off once more.
Oh, these stalling tactics from BG. Fear's already dropped his helm. He's looking to the leap. He's going to try to snatch the Aegis. Can DC prevent this? Stop. We'll set it up. There's the
Radiant's
beams.
top
They're
barracks are under Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Oh, DC, the road to get gold is hardly matters. They needed the next fight. This could be it. It's so fun. Beautiful combination. Chrono as well as the Mechanical Fire. Nuking them down. But still easy. Outlasting them. They have around 2 now. With the Chrono extended. Top lane pushing in. DC could be their last chance of this game. A 9-man for move. Out for 80. EG in full control of game 2 as they march down the bottom
Radiant's
lane.
middle tower is under attack.
That's a huge play from Fear. Jumping into the pit, 3 swipes, roasts down, he gets the Aegis. Even with that great Chronosphere, Fear doesn't care, he just survives. It's that second life, and now they're ready to go again. And I don't know what you could do without that Chronosphere up for the Faceless Void. No Faceless Void for 56. Now Fear has a heart.
Dire's middle tower is
Even
under
tankier
attack.
than before.
He's going to be
Radiant
closing in on
structures are
4,000
fortified.
HP with 50 plus armor, and that's not counting the weave, the medallion. And he's not even the main damage dealer necessarily. Sumail was an MTB in his own right. They quad lane this guy at point. Smart
Radiant's
doesn't feel that
bottom
way
tower
anymore.
has fallen.
He has shown resilience here again. He did it at DHC when he first burst onto the scene. Gave up 3-4 kills, and now I'm gonna find Misery, and still came back in that grand final versus BG. Delivering the killing blow now. This props the GG. And we will go to deciding game 3. It is not over yet.
What? And the resiliency from Sumail. You can hear this crowd going crazy. EG are not out of it yet. Game 3 is coming, and I gotta say, for Fear and for Sumail to come back in that fashion, I mean, DC had a clear game plan. It felt like they wanted to push down towers, they wanted to get killed.